Hi. I'm currently in India and I've never been out of this country, and I wanted to share some experiences with this place that I'm born in, because I want to tell about basically love and relationships and the concept of marriage and what it actually stands for here, and what it is interpreted as basically in India, right? I'm going to talk about this place because it is a topic that we should discuss about, of course, and why not? So, love in India is a myth. It's a belief that does not exist. It's an idea that isn't even understood yet. We are so far behind as to what love is. We don't even know what it's used for, and what it stands for, and how, whether it's any use to your inner work, or whether it has any use to your outer work, and how does it affect your life, and how does it improve or decline or degrade your life. So we don't know that, and I think we need to understand this. And so I'm going to tell you some key points that, and the beliefs that we have here, that are absolutely ridiculous, right? And I just feel like, as a younger generation, as a part of this country, I need to express this. I need to express my views to help you understand what is actually happening for the people outside and for the people living here, right? And what is the actual cause of what is exactly happening that is making India of hell, of a place that people are starting to just hate and just deteriorate, and just not accept it as, and have no feelings of patriotism as such. So, well, I'm just expressing the opinions of other people. It's not my opinion. I'm very happy where I am, and I'm like a person who finds use for everything that is there, right? If I have a pen, I can just write. I don't dream of having a luxurious car, right? So so I feel like I'm the right person to express this opinion as to what is actually going on here. So let's begin, right? Let's go with point number one. Point number one is basically vulnerability, expressing, and the suppression of love that we have here, right? Here we suffer from love. We are we have love as a disease. We see love as a disease. We think of it as a disease that needs to be cured, right? And, and meanwhile, we are in a position where we want it to be cured, and once it gets cured, we realize that it was something completely different all along. And this is about someone I'm very close to, and this is the perspective he has, right? So I'm just sharing that perspective. So yeah, it is. People here are very, uh, we could say, uninclined towards love, and they are very uninclined to know what love means and how it actually works and what it actually is, right? So they don't have strength or an ability to express their love. Well, there's a saying, you need courage to be vulnerable, right? When we think of strength, we think of fighting, we think of muscle building, we think of fighting for our own rights and being independent and working for ourselves, earning wages, and many more things. But no one thinks vulnerability as sitting with yourself and your insecurities and solving them, right? No one thinks of it as it is, and even if they do, they think of it as less prioritized than, working and being independent of yourself. But what we tend to be bad at, we could say, is recognizing our own mistakes, recognizing our ego, and how it is actually controlling us and confining us in a position that it is actually we are behind, as if we are behind the bars, right? We are stuck in our own self-image that help makes us do things that we don't want to do, right? So here, love is, we are afraid to share. We are afraid to share our vulnerability. We're afraid. People here are not even honest. They don't even speak honestly. They have so much cover-ups. They have so much face mask that you just can't. There's no room for authenticity in India. People are not authentic. There are very less people who are authentic and are passionate in a sense. A lot of people here are just ignorant, and they have no awareness of anything, of any situation. They're just like a zombie working and going and coming back home, and they cannot figure it out. And it's kind of sad to say so, because they are not getting the reward for the efforts they're putting out in the world, and they blame the world for it, and they don't blame themselves. And that is the biggest problem that I've seen. People are not working on themselves, but they're working for other people. They're slavering. They're absolutely involved in slavery. They're slavering their body to attain their desires and goals. And that goals is the problem, that it is not aligned with their self, because they don't know who they are. They're just workers or zombies that just go out, get money, earn, and just get frustrated, and whatever they cannot deal with, put it onto the other people, or just, I don't know, just the worst ways to cope with anger. You can call it. It's here in India. We have the worst way to cope with anger. That was the first point. Number two, their love is selfish. People love here does not last for more than a few years. Tops. Tops. It's like a bottle, It's like it runs out and the bottle is over. If you can see it as being drunk, or it runs for a certain amount of time and it just runs out. It is bounded by material existence. Is bounded by quantity, and if it's bounded by quantity, it is material, and material love is a love that does not last forever, right? Or we can say for a lifetime. It dies with the feelings, it dies with the emotions, right? It dies with the intensity that you have in the beginning of the relationship, and it just washes away, like it doesn't matter at all. And it isn't even detachment, right? It is just abandonness of your feelings, your desires, your thoughts, your honesty, for the sake of materialism, or for the sake of I don't know, plot, for the sake of being a protagonist. People leave their people because of reasons that are not even practically applicable or valid, and which is not even how they function. I've seen here people supporting their hypocrite reason, and because of their hypocrite reason, they lose the people they love and blame it as their punishment, or for what the crimes they've done. People out here are so selfish that they hold themselves accountable for the crimes they've done, for the sins they've done, right? And it's kind of I know this sounds very controversial, right? But what the hell am I saying? What is this guy saying, right? You probably might be wondering. And what I mean to say here is, it's a very less dignified way to answer that. We are self-victimizing ourselves into believing that we have done wrong things, And here, with the help of the wrong things, we lose the people we love, right? Genuine connections. We sacrifice genuine connections with false perceptions, with our false ego, just to make ourselves feel better, or just to be, in a state where we think we are under control, right? That was the second point. Number three, here in India, there is no emotional support. The couples out here just do not care about each other, and they can provide, as in giving clothes, shelter, financial support, but they are not guiding their partner spiritually, or let alone emotionally, right? There are people out here with the age, with being so old, right? They're 40, they're 50s, and they still don't know how to emotionally support themselves. They still don't know how to take care of themselves, as if they're literally dependent on the other person. And this is a place where I urge you to get into inner work and follow my channel, because this is what I do. Like, I help you understand your inner self and compare it with the outer world, so that you can understand what inner world actually is and how to improve it, right? And how to understand it. So yeah, there's no emotional support here. People out there just walk like zombies without any consultation to their emotional side, their feelings, their thoughts, their even thoughts. They're born, they learn how to work, and they just do it for the rest of their lives without any neglect. They're barely humans, in a sense. They're barely humans. What completes us is emotions, right? What distinguishes us from robots is that we have feelings, we have thoughts uh, that are emotional, that comes from our heart, right? We have a heart. We are humans, but here it's a state where we're just half humans, and we're not even complete. And there's a place where people think that half human is, you become complete when you're with your other half. But here's the thing: the other half you only achieve that other half is when you are completed within yourself. So if you're not completed within yourself and you're looking for the other half, you'll have a half that is just a single half. Yeah, that means you'll be just one, right? But you're two people, right? You have separate identities, right? You have your own identity, and that's the thing that here in India people don't have in a relationship. They don't have their self identity. They're detached. They're attached to their partners so much that they lose their own identity and who they are. And this is the type of premature relationship we get into, right? In India we have so many concepts, like to get married at this age, to not get married before this, because we are not mature, because we're not earning, and whatever the case is. But once we get married, we are not ready to be married, right? This is the case in 90% of the cases. we when we are about to get married in India, we are not ready to be married. And in some cases, people actually are forced married, which is absolutely crazy, because we are not even inclined to have people with our size or have that mindset to be together, but we still get married. And which will take me to the next point, that we marry not for love, but we marry for a gain, an up, not an upliftment. That upliftment is a very conscious word. We are just here to just use each other and selfishly, in a sense. So let's go to the fourth point. We Indians do not understand the concept of love. This is the fourth point that I wanted to really express about. When two people get together, they get together for what? They get together to celebrate. They get together to help each other out. They get together to complete their karmic relationships. They get together to help them reach liberation, salvation. There are a lot of reasons to be in love, right? And we got none of those here. We got none of those. We are climbing the wrong mountain. We are beating a bush that does not even have cherries. It is just a random thorny bush that we're just beating to get fruits to ripe. When we get into love, or when what we think of love is, here is just so selfish cause. Like when people get here in India in love, they tend to think that yeah, we're just gonna leave this place, leave these people in their own, and we're just gonna make our own world. And what I mean to say is that the concept of love here is just so immature that it cannot even ripe, and it cannot even be considered as two adults getting into a relationship, because our emotional sense and emotional development are so less worked upon. We are in a place where we're just 2 year olds trying to find love, uh, while we're just, well, we are like 26 in like material sense. We are like, reaching the age of marriage, or maybe even older, like we're 40 years of age, and we just have emotional maturity, or uh, ideas of a 12-year-old because we haven't worked into that. We just there's various field of your work, we have various field when you're in life, right? There's one that is completely logical, right? There's some creative aspects of life. There are some emotional aspects of life. There are some romantic aspects of life, and there are so many aspects of life. And here we just focus on one aspect, and we just do not care about the other aspect, and we don't even know that that aspect exists, right? There are some people who are not even aware of the world that they are living in, and the part of the world that they are just completely missing out, right? And it's a thing I've noticed. So this is where like our love just runs out in a bottle, and just it's very uh it's like a currency. We use love as a currency, and we think of it as a materialistic thing that happens in our body and our mind, as in they are releasing endorphins, which is kind of disgusting. You're releasing endorphins in love. Bro, what is wrong with you? I mean, I know I sound very funny, but what I mean by this is that love is much more than endorphins and pleasure, or companionship, or justifying your means. I mean, we are using love in every worst way possible. We use it to justify our means. We use it to boost our ego. We use it to burden ourselves and our problems to the other person. We use it to avoid our karma, which is not even possible. You cannot avoid your karma. You cannot. We just transfer our inner work and just, uh, you know, just throw away our inner work and burden our partners with our inner work, than working it on ourselves. And the thing about inner work is that you have to work it. There's no other way. Like, that is why inner work exists. Not everything can be put aside. Not everything can be given to other person as a way to deal with it, or as a way to get rid of it, right? And that is one of the things that inner work makes us understand, that we have to work it on ourselves. And in love, it just becomes so reckless when we haven't worked in our work in ourselves, that we tend to just misinterpret love and in India, and we just misunderstand it completely as to what it actually is, right? That is, according to me, is companionship, is a partnership, as we call it, partners, right? And all that. But we completely misinterpreted, right? As you can see, as I can observe and analyze from my perspective, right? Okay, so fifth point is about being selfish in love, right? And the angle that I'm going to take here is very introspective and very insightful. So just listen to this. Uh, when we get into relationships in India, when we get into love, when we get into marriage, even marriage, such as uh, s- marriage, according to me, is a very higher level consciousness of uh, humans. That once we get into the marriage, and there's also a thing called marriage consciousness, and once we get into that consciousness, we are ready to be married, and we manifest our partners, or we manifest our era of receiving, then sending. I mean, in the era of receiving, than just giving, right? And in that state of time, we are still using it as a way to support ourselves, as a way to divide our works into divide our materialistic tasks to each other, right? Like here, it's like um, we have divided our works, we have divided our task, as if we are literally a marketing agency being marketed by the top tier men out there. And as a business, like we tend to see it as a business. um, Marriage, love, relationship, it's like a business. We transactions in it, and we it's like take give or take type of thing. So yeah, we divide our work, and we completely create a horrifying division between men and women, which the materialistic world want us to do, is to divide ourselves as much as we can, because it is the nature of materialism, nature of nature to evolve and expand, right? But we are not minions of nature, are we? We are not minions of material existence, of material world. We have our own separate existence, and we are the humans. We are the species that have consciousness, that can see and understand much better than the other animals out there. They have the consciousness of life and death. They are conscious of dying, right? They understand the concept of dying. So basically, we have a lot of knowledge. We can do a lot of things. And what we do with it is be slaves. We divide ourselves. We think it's intelligent to divide ourselves into two things, as if differentiation is the art of dividing things. But here in love, love is a union. Love is about bringing two things together, two people together that are away from each other, and to meet them and be complete in ourselves. But here it is used to support each other. That is the sixth point. We use to support each other, and that is the key idea behind love here. And it's kind of sickening, and which is very uh we could say mental. Yeah, it's very mental ideas. And the fact is think so much about love, and not being intuitive about it is just itself explains that we are very suppressed, and we are hiding so many things in our emotions, and we're afraid of it. We are guilty, we are vulnerable, and we are afraid to accept it, and accept love, right? Which is, I think, love is, right? And that it is the deepest version of yourself that is ready to receive love. Because I think there are very less percentage of people out there in the world that are actually capable of receiving love, let alone receive love in a different sense, right? We receive love in many different senses, but that's a topic for different times. Here I'm going to just tell you that love is for completion, right? When we reach a marriage place, or uh, when we reach our partners and finally reunite them, in a sense, we're in the same frequency, or we are in the same level and understanding. We are supposed to complete each other and not divide each other, right? Imagine this: you're two people, right? There are two people, and you're dividing, right? Dividing as if you're one, but you're already two, right? You're already two, but you're dividing by being one, assuming yourself as one and dividing it, but there's nothing to divide. You're already divided and you're complete in your own. And this is the thing that I wanted to explain so eagerly in this video, right? So I hope you understand the point. And yeah, this is the fifth point, because we here divide our works and we have no any other intention of uh, any higher intentions. We are just using each other as in I love you, but I'm gonna use you. But I love you. It's so much gaslighting here. I swear to God, there's so much manipulation, and the fact is that both parties are manipulating each other. Like in India, I see men and women both manipulating each other, and both of them thinking that they're manipulating each other, but they're the ones that are getting manipulated, and it's so funny. It's very funny because at the end they're the one going into the wrong directions, or uh, going away from each other, which is clearly not the point of love, right? It's not the point to be test. It is to be stay together, and definitely not to support each other and use each other, but to complete each other, right? This is the fifth. Sixth point is here in India, we have a system that men are supposed to be pillars of consciousness, right? They're supposed to explore. But here's the thing: we have reached a point in our existence as humans that we have explored enough, and we have analyzed enough, and there are people who are going to say that no, we are going to Mars, we have to travel more, we have to explore more and more. But I agree with that, and good luck with that. But being without the emotional aspect that women carries, as they're complete, they're as a whole, and there's stable energy, and a man who's an unstable energy, whose drive is to explore and know more about the nature, and eventually just die purposeless or without any fulfillment, is a cause of less self-realization but more uh desires and uh uh award-oriented mindset, right? And in this sixth point, I'm going to talk about like how it is divided here. uh so women here are supposed to work as they act as a personifications of material opulence, right? They act as what you get from the material, like wealth, like fame, or any type of material gadgets, you could say, that we have or we get upon our journey of life, that they are accountable for it, or they hold responsible for it, or they are the ones that own that those things, right? But this whole system is rigged. The whole system is based upon the fact that women are supposed to be materialistic. Women cannot see through materialism. Women are not supposed to be spiritual, which is very, very enraging for me to talk about, because that is actually how the system is made. Men are supposed to be the pillar of consciousness. They're supposed to be an open energy, and just roaming around like a fucking idiot, in streets without any purpose or something. And that's what they're trying to implement by this type of society and system, that we're going to divide you into two things. And women are absolutely the best, the complete energy, and you are a half, and you need to chase the women, because of course you need to chase them, and that is what society is based upon, and that is what society teaches you, and that is what most of the businesses out there are made upon or built upon. It is built upon men chasing, or men trying to find something that already exists in their self, as to engage in materialistness and benefit the people who are actually intoxicated or lustful and cursed by the material existence they have. and serve them, basically. So it's like a cult. And the whole thing that is made upon this, right, is that we need to, on the one reason that we need to divide to in order to fulfill we need to divide to fulfill an agenda or a purpose that we are trying to achieve, and we are trying to interpret the material world as, and what we want to make of it, and use this humans and gender in order to commercialize it, and in order to uh interpretalize it, or make it so meaningful that it actually sounds like a truth, right? I know this is very hard to understand and follow, but I hope you're enjoying the video. And if you're still here watching it, I'm so happy that you are. And I love you so much. And uh, I'm so grateful that you're here. So thank you. Uh, so this is what I'm trying to explain about this. And yeah, this is the video. So yeah, this was the video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to like and subscribe, please. Thank you. And just support me, guys, please. And I'll keep making these videos, and I want to explore more. And yeah, bye bye, take care, and I love you.